I had a canal that led to a lake whenever I lived in Orlando, Florida. And it was so gross. And I used to actually grow romaine lettuce in it, though, because once when I was feeding Goliath, I threw some lettuce on top of whatever I gave him, and I threw the what's it called, the root of the lettuce, the core. I threw it over my shoulder into the canal, and it landed on the muddy bank, and it grew. It grew out of the core, so I started doing that. I used to grow lettuce there, but aside from that, it was really gross. You couldn't see through the water. It was all muddy. And one time, I jumped off my dock into the middle of the canal when I was about to go jet skiing out on the lake with my friends, and I was like, "Ow, that hurt!" And I stepped out, and the entire bottom of my foot was cut open because there was like a broken sheet of metal or something right in the middle of all these houses on the canal. And my dad was like, "Well, you're not going to ruin our jet ski outing for the rest of us. Wrap that bad boy up." And it was like a huge 2-inch gash in the bottom of my foot, and I wrapped it up with an ace bandage in the dirty-ass mud water. And there was, on the side of my jet ski was like from the 90s. It's like this older little purple one. It was really fast, though. And like it had the spot where your feet go on the side. And my whole time, if I ever came to a stop in the middle of the lake while jet skiing, it would just be filled up with dark, deep red blood. I lost so much blood in the middle of a huge lake on a jet ski that if you don't balance yourself, you just fall over. And I mean, there could have been any point when no one was around where I could have just went, and just fallen over and drowned, but I didn't. I just got real lightheaded. Dripping blood everywhere for the alligators. No, it didn't get infected. The same thing happened, I have a huge scar on my right knee. I have 2 big scars from big gashes that I got on both of my knees from different occasions. But on my right knee, I have one from when I was at the jetties at the beach, and I fell between 2 big jagged rocks that are like the size of a house. I tumbled between them and got all cut up and sliced open my knee, and we were at the beach. And I ran to my dad. I was like, "Oh, Dad," I sliced my shit open. Like, you could see tissue and like the pink and the yellow inside because it was so deep. And my dad said, "Well, go wash it off in the water and let's, have a good time." I was like, "Okay." So I went out and waded out onto the ocean, the wide open ocean in the knee-deep water where the waves were hitting me, and let the waves clean out my cut. I never sutured it up or anything. I just let it stay open and didn't let any dirt get into it or anything. And now I have a big, cool scar. She just pulled out a onigiri for no reason. You guys have said that quite a few. Anytime I tell you guys stories, you always say, "How are you still alive?" I got up to a lot of mischief. I have lots of cuts, scars all over my body. The best one will be, that one story I told you where I fell off the roof and my leg just went into the Freddy Krueger other dimension inside that false wall. Barbed wire all along my leg. Didn't even get a tetanus shot. I just went and took a bath, and the bathtub filled up with dark red blood. And I was just like, alright. If we didn't have to go to the hospital growing up, we didn't go. That's why this, going to the hospital last month was like sort of such a big deal to me. I hadn't been to a hospital in like 16 years. And the last time I was there, I got a penicillin shot or something. That was it. What do you think our ancestors? That's what my dad would say. My dad would always make that argument. My dad would be like, "What do you think our ancestors did? They went to the fucking hospital? No, they just dealt with it." And when I was growing up, I always took that. I would be like, "Oh yeah, that's a really good point." Looking back on it, that's a really stupid point. Because back then, what they would do is they would die.